Hello.
Krishna, can you hear me? Hey Krishna, Munda Reddy. Hello, can you hear me? Krishna? Hey Kishore, do you have any technical background?
Hi, Srinu. I don't have any technical knowledge on this programming. I am
Okay.
completely new to this. My major is
No worries,
electrical.
no worries, because I'm going to start like, yeah, that's what I'm trying to get. If everybody was a little bit familiar with the knowledge, programming knowledge and all, then at this moment, if I go and start, what is application, what kinds of applications are there, all this stuff, they'll get bored. But anyway, you don't have a basic knowledge about the programming also. That's fine, because I start from the basic onwards. At the
Yeah.
lower level, like what kind of applications will be there in our day-to-day, what kind of applications we use, what technologies we use for developing those applications, and all. I start from that. No worries about that.
Yeah.
Noble, you have any technical background? Noble, are you there? Okay, your voice is not audible. Can you speak a little bit loud, or can you use your microphone? Noble? Noble, your voice is not audible for me. Can you speak a little bit loud, or yeah, Noble? No, still. Yeah, okay. Carry on, carry on. Anyway, we'll manage it for today. Okay, that should be fine. Okay, then we'll start our introduction to like what are like what we're going to discuss in our .NET sessions, and what kind of applications are there, and what different technologies we use to develop those applications, and all we'll see now for today. Okay, let me share my screen. So everybody, like when they're coming to .NET, like you will find, like if you go through Google and all, you'll be finding C#.NET, ASP.NET, VB.NET, and all this stuff. But when you go to earlier programming and all, C, it's a C1 language. Can you please go on mute if you're not talking? So when you go to earlier programming, when you say C, it's a C. That's it. There is no other thing. But when it comes to .NET, you'll be finding C#.NET, ASP.NET, VB.NET. Then you are finding MVC, Web API, AngularJS, all this stuff you are finding. But you'll get confused. What is this .NET? People are telling only .NET, but why all these components? For that, like we'll start with the like what kind of applications we have, and what technologies we can use to develop that. Okay, in our day-to-day, like we'll go to Arun first. Arun, can you tell me what kind of applications you are using? When you
Uh,
open your system, you are using some kind of applications, right? Tell me some application names.
uh, Chrome for browsing
Right, Google, good. Then
and the default CAM applications.
did you use MS Word?
Yeah,
So here we have two different, like he's using Google and he's using MS Word. Did you find any difference between these two applications? So Google, first of all, first thing I want to see is like, do you need any installation to use google.com in your local? Are you
no.
installing any software in your local from Google? No, not required. No installation required in your machine for using the Google.
Yeah.
But when it comes to MS Word, you have to
You need to
install and
install.
you have to install and use it, right? So primarily these are two different kinds of application. One is a web-based application and this is called as a desktop application. So for using a web-based application, just you need to have a browser. Again, the browser, whatever Chrome, Internet Explorer, Firefox, all these are again the desktop applications only. Whatever you install and use it, those are all desktop-based applications. They run from your local machine. When you go and click on MS Word, it's opening from your local machine and running. So the entire software should be in your machine. But whereas if you go to your web application, software and application, nothing is there in your machine. Just you are browsing through the browser kind of thing, Firefox or Mozilla or whatever it may be. So here you need to have a browser, that's it. But from where this application is running? Basically running from the server. This actually application is running from the server. And browser is only to display the content, that's it. Only HTML content, whatever user interface display purpose, we are using a browser. But actually the application is running from the server. What is meant by server here? Anybody has idea about server?
The place where application is stored.
Okay, correct. Not only stored, basically.
Which can use access.
Right. Basically, if you go to simple terminology, maybe this word come out of technology world, and if you think the server word we are hearing so many places. When you go to a restaurant, there are a lot of servers you will find, right?
Yeah.
What is he doing? When you go and order some dish, like whatever you order, he take that request, like whatever the request you are giving, he will take that and he will go and process that request and he will provide you the response. Like the response means he will give you the dish back. So what server is doing is like basically it is processing the request. Process the request and provide the response to the customer. So here the same kind of activity is doing in our technology environment also. We are hearing a lot of servers like web server. Basically it serves the web pages, websites, web applications. If you see, there are database servers. Database servers are there. So those primary goal is to serve the data, to store the data and to retrieve the data, everything. That is a database server. We have a mail server that is primarily to configure the mails and everything. Like this, whenever you find a server in any keyword like a server, it is a request response processor. That is nothing. There is nothing more than that. So yes, somebody told like where we host our application or where we keep our application. Yes, we keep our application in the server. That is only physically we are storing it. But when we go to web server for .NET applications, we use IIS as a web server. So the files are there. But when your request comes, who will pick that file and convert it into HTML? That is nothing but the server. So for running a web application, we need to have a browser, web browser and web server, only these two components. When it comes to desktop application, nothing. You need to have your operating system, nothing more than that. You don't need to have any browser server kind of. The main difference is one requires installation into local machine and one doesn't require installation into local machine. So to develop these applications, web-based applications, we have a technology called ASP.NET. ASP.NET is purely to develop the web applications like Google.com, Yahoo.com, AccessBank.com, like all these web-based applications we can go and develop by using the ASP.NET. When it comes to desktop applications, you have C#.NET, VB.NET, VC++, like this we have a programming language. We have a different technologies for different applications. When a customer is coming and asking me, hey boss, I want an internet based application, web application, or online banking or net banking kind of thing, definitely I go and use a technology called ASP.NET and develop the application and give it to him. The other guy is coming and asking me, no, I want a cash teller application where teller want to open the application and do it from his local. Then I go and develop the application by using C#.NET. So these are the technology differences in .NET. But altogether, whether it is a C#.NET, ASP.NET, VB.NET, VC++, VJ Shop, all these things comes together as a .NET framework. That is nothing but the .NET. .NET. So .NET is a combination of programming languages like C#.NET, VB.NET, VC++, and a technology like ASP.NET. So it's a combination of both. But based on the application development, we choose which technology I have to go. Whether I have to go for ASP.NET based application or C#.NET based application. That we will decide based on the application. Are we clear here, Arun?
Yes.
But if you take any application, you go to any application, there are different kinds of layers like user interface layer, business logic layer, and database layer. Let us say I'm opening gmail.com. So whatever you are viewing here, see, this is a user viewing this particular page. This is nothing but the user interface. This is called as the user interface layer. And let us say I am going and putting something here, inputting something and clicking on next. When I click on next, some logic is getting executed, like my mail ID is correct or not. If it is not a valid mail ID, then come up with error message. All this is executing at the logic layer. That is nothing but the business logic. Then this is a different component, like database layer is nothing but database where you can store the information, retrieve the information. This is purely for the storage purpose, like all user IDs, passwords, your mails, and everything is stored into the database. So here, these are the different layers for every application. Any application you take, it will have a user interface layer and database layer. For a web-based applications, we use, for front-end development, like user interface, we use ASP.NET. ASP.NET for web-based applications, ASP.NET is purely for user interface development. Only what user can view can be developed by using ASP.NET. Then logic, business logic, and everything we write code in C#.NET. Logic execution we write it in C#. So that means ASP.NET is useful for only developing the front end and some state management techniques. That we'll discuss anyway, what is state management and all. When it comes to desktop based applications, front end, user interface we develop in C#.NET, and logic also we develop in C#.NET. User interface, business logic, both we develop by using C#. If you go to VB.NET, both we develop by using VB.NET. Both we can develop by using VC++ like that. So to learn the web application or to develop the web applications, you need to have a knowledge about C#.NET as well as ASP.NET. But for developing a desktop-based application, you need to know only C#. That is enough. Nowadays, you might be hearing about MVC, Web API. All these are like nowadays the market leading technologies. Web API, REST, and WCF. So these are the extensions of ASP.NET, I can say. This advanced concepts of ASP.NET. And you are hearing a new technology called WPF, that is an extension in C#. So whatever whenever you Google about the .NET or whenever you hear something about .NET, you will be getting all these things in. So now you are clear where to go and what technology I have to use, what are these different technologies and all, you are clear now. So all these whatever I mentioned here, these are purely for web-based applications development. Whatever I mentioned here in the down, they are purely for the desktop-based applications development. So that like when we go for a desktop and web, we see the features and performance of the application. We see a lot of things. How the client will decide whether I have to go for a desktop or web-based application. So that is depending on, like, there are drawbacks with the desktop-based applications, because let us say you you developed a well application, nice application, and you install it in your machine. Suppose tomorrow due to some error the application is not working properly. You have 10,000 machines, and everywhere you have to uninstall and install again if it is desktop based application. Whereas if you go to web based application, if something is not working, go and change at the server level itself. Only one place it will reflect everywhere, so maintenance will be very less. If you want any fixes or something, if you want to do it centralized location, do it one place, that's it. But whereas desktop applications, you have to go and do it in each and every machine. But when it comes to the performance, desktop applications will be having more performance than the web applications, because every request it should go to the server has to process the request, then get the response, then render the page. Everything is taking a little bit of time. So it's performance wise, it is the desktop applications are having more performance. But even like if you go to desktop application, every machine should allow a database connection. From every individual machine, database connection should be allowed. But whereas if you go to web-based application, only one connection is enough. So there are drawbacks with both, like desktop as well as web. There are constraints also that we will discuss in depth when it comes to the actual technology like ASP.NET and C#.NET, and when actual development comes, like when actual training starts, we'll discuss about that. So this is an introduction to .NET. What is .NET? Like it's a combination of programming languages, technologies. So initially, like .NET evolution started earlier we used to have VB6 for the desktop-based applications and ASP for the web-based applications. VB6 is purely for desktop-based applications, like MS Word and all these kind of applications we can develop. Yahoo Messenger, Skype. These are all desktop applications only. You are downloading and installing it in your machine. The desktop applications we used to develop with VB 6.0 and web-based technology ASP we have. But VB 6.0 is a platform dependent one. Means you can go and develop a desktop application for Windows operating system only. You cannot develop for other operating systems. That is a constraint with VB6. And even ASP has a lot of constraints. Then they introduced .NET 1.1 first. They club these together and come up with a technology called as .NET, that is 1.1. So then they release, like .NET 1.1 is having some drawbacks. Then they release 2.0. We'll discuss in depth about each and every framework. .NET, what is .NET 1.1? What are the components of .NET 1.1? Then what is the extension in .NET 2.0? Then .NET 3.0 or 3.5 straight away. Then .NET 4.0. Now we are into .NET 4.5.2 is the latest, but 4.5 is enough. In our next sessions, we are going to start with .NET 1.1. So what are different components inside that and how it works, that part we'll discuss. Then we'll go and discuss about .NET 2.0, 3.5, what is the evolutions, like a technology, like it's an extension only, it's not a complete change of the framework. They added some features and given it as .NET 2.0. They added some additional features and given as 3.5. They added some features like WCF, REST and Web API, and they have given it as 4.0. So features, add-on features they are adding, and they are releasing it as a frameworks. I can say release versions one by one. So this is our .NET frameworks versions we have. So first of all, we'll see what is a .NET framework. Then we'll discuss, like we'll start from 2.0 and we'll go back to 1.1. What is the difference? Let me explain you what is .NET framework. Just now we discussed about the two different kinds of applications. That is, one is Windows based application and the other one is a desktop based application. Just now we discussed about it. One is desktop and the other one is web. These are the two different types of applications in our day-to-day we are using and we are developing. So under desktop, again we have two types. Maybe if you go to your earlier days like railway reservation systems and all, they are using still console-based applications, not online. If you go to reservation counters, railway reservation counters, they are using console. That is nothing but the command prompt, command-based applications, black and white screen. Reservation, press 1. Seat number, press seat number, press amount. Like everything comes as a console, like a DOS prompt, black and white and ఎలా ఉంటాయి మీకు applications కి వెళ్తాయి. Applications runs through DOS operating system, command prompt. Those type of applications are called as a console applications. Maybe you who are familiar with C, C++, C programming and all, they are seeing like cout, cin, printf, scanf, they were writing. All those are nothing but the console based applications. And the other one is like nowadays we are using, that is nothing but the Windows based applications. Desktop applications are categorized into two types. One is console and the second one is Windows. Nowadays, if you open any kind of application, that is a Windows based. Even if you take MS Paint, it's a Windows based application. It runs based on the Windows operating system and everything opens up as a window. File, open, close, home, view, minimize, maximize, close button, all this is nothing but a Windows applications. Here that is like console and Windows. Again, when we are deciding the application, we'll go like we'll see the features and we'll see the customer requirement. Which one we have to go and develop, either console or Windows application. Suppose user like performance, he want to perform more performance and he don't want user friendliness. That time we go for a console application because console applications are having more performance than the Windows applications. If you go for a Windows applications, some of your processing capacity will be allocated to your GUI rendering also. All these colors, whatever you are getting here, to make it this appearance, you have to allocate some processing capacity for the GUI also. But whereas for console applications, there is no colors, nothing. There is no GUI. 100% your processing capacity will be allocated to your application processing only. So performance wise, console applications are having more performance than Windows, but Windows applications are more user friendly. Like even without any computer knowledge also, you can go and click on something and you will get it. Nowadays, even if you go like with 5th class, 6th class, 7th class standard, they are opening the systems they are using the system because its user friendliness is more when you go for Windows application. Console application, everything you have to read and enter the command prompt like 1, 2, 3 options you have to enter, read and enter the options kind of thing. Based on the situations, they go for the whether they want to go for a console application or Windows applications, they will decide it. When it comes to web-based applications, we have web sites or web pages, I can say. That is one thing, and other one we have is web services. The second one is web services. Web pages, we are very much known about all this. Whatever I open in Gmail or whatever I open, those are all nothing but the web pages based applications. Those are all websites. Web pages. You will see in the form of HTML. Everything you will see it in the HTML format, rich look and feel and everything. Whatever you are viewing, this is a web page. Everything is a page. You go and open anything, it's a web page. These are nothing but the web pages, web applications. There is a second, this I don't need to give much explanation to web pages. The other one is we have a web services. This we are not using. You never use these web services in your day-to-day usage of your system. So these web services primarily required, like let me tell you one scenario where we need this kind of web services, then we'll go and discuss about what is a web service. Let us say I have a business of currency exchange, like dollar to rupee or dollar to some other currency. I want to do the conversion. Suppose I am developing one application for my currency exchange business. For my organization, I am developing a application. Let us say instead, like I put it a conversion rate as dollar to rupee conversion as 64 rupees as a standard in my application. But that is not under my control. Currency exchange may change every minute, every second. The currency exchange rates will be changing, and the information is not with me. So if I go and use 63 and suddenly if the market value has changed to 64, then the customer is going to lose 1 rupee per each dollar. If it went down to 62 rupees, then gone. I'm losing the money. So here I need some kind of real-time data, real-time information from someone else. Basically, this information, the real-time information or instant information, is with the stock markets. So they have the information. What is the currency exchange rate which currently going on? But every time I cannot go and look at the NSE or BSE stock exchange, what is the conversion rate? I cannot go and get that information and put it into my system and convert it. Then there is no use of developing an application itself. You can go and use a calculator, simple calculator. You can go and put it how many dollars, what is the conversion rate at present in the website. You can check and convert it. That is not a good practice. There is no use of developing application also. Simply with a calculator application, I can manage my business. Here, I want to get some instant information without manual intervention. Like I want to go and get the information instantly from the other systems without manual intervention. Like I don't want to go and enter it manually. So that time we go and use a concept called as web services. In this scenario, what stock exchange will do is, stock exchanges guys will, like a web page, they go and create a web service and they will give that web service to us. Then we go and use that web service in our application. Whenever you need a conversion, you call that web service internally. In your application itself, you call that web service and send which conversion rate you want. Dollar to rupee, that just you will send dollar and rupee. They will send you back the conversion rate, whether it is instantly, they will send you back whether it is a 64 or 65, you will get instantly the information from the SEBI or whatever your stock exchanges, whoever is providing that web service. So it's like through the internet, you are sending a request to the stock exchange and they are providing the information. So that information instantly, without manual intervention, system is going and getting the information through the web services. So that kind of applications also we can develop by using web services. Basically, not only this scenario, let us say I want to develop an application where I want to send SMS to my customers. But SMS sending and all is not my business. It's with the mobile providers who has SMS gateways, SMS all the equipment, they have it with them. Let us say my budget is 1 crore for my web application. I cannot go and get mobile provider license for only for my website. Something which I enter in my application, and when I click on send, it should go to all my customers. At this moment, what we will do is, already all the mobile providers have the web services developed. So they will provide one interface to us, like we go and call that web service, and we send the mobile number and messages. So rest they will take care of sending the messages to the customers. In this scenario, we need a web service. Not only that, let us say tomorrow let us say I am in India, I know the postal codes and village names and everything, which village comes under which postal code. I publish it as a web service. Suppose some XYZ bank want that information. When the customer enters the postal code and village name, they want to validate it. Bank doesn't have that information, then they will go and check who is providing this service. Yes, I am providing it, then I will charge per annum or per request based. Just what I will do is, whole information is with me. They will send a request to me saying that this is the postal code and this is the village name, whether it is correct or not. Then I will say yes or no. For that I will charge. So those kind of situations, we go and develop the web services. So there are free web services also. There is one guy who is providing webservicex.net. I'll show you how it looks like. He is providing some web services. So business and commerce is providing some web services kind of thing. Stock quotations, validate credit card he is providing. So this is the service URL he is giving. So what I will do is, I will go and use this service in my application, and I will send the credit card number to this guy, webservicex.net. Internally, it's not manually. Internally, my application will send, when I go and use this web service, my application will send the credit card number to this particular guy, and he will validate and come back saying that whether it is correct or not, yes or no. So here just a demo purpose he has given, card type. So let us say I am putting it as Visa. I will send only this two information to him. It's not manual, I am telling again. Through the application only we will send it. Card number. I am entering some card number. Just it's a tester, invoke. He will come up saying that, see, this credit card is not valid. We will get this response from the webservicex.net. Same thing if I want to do, like through my application, just don't think about the how I am writing code and all, just see how it is getting called and all. When it comes to my application, just I am opening a Visual Studio. This is a .NET development environment. I am taking one application, Windows based application. Coding and all we will see. That coding you will learn anyway. Just I'm trying to explain you how web services will work. The Windows form application I'm taking simple. Let it be whatever it may be. Don't look at the code whatever I am writing. Just try to understand how the web services are working. Just a moment. let us say I have a text box 1, which is for, this is for the entering the card type, and this is for entering the card number. Through my application, I want to validate. It will be very easy to develop the front end. This is a user interface and label. There is a card number where you go and enter card number. This is my application purely, whatever I am developing for my organization purpose. So what I do is I'll go and put one button where I go and put validate. This is the user, just properties setting only, validate. When I click on validate, I don't have the credit card information. What credit card? What card will have what sequence of numbers and all, what card numbers and all. I don't have that information with me. But I am trying to use the web service provided by this guy, webservicex.net. Just see what I'm doing. So what I'll do is in my application, I'll go and add, simply add service reference. So I'm using this URL, go. So I'm adding that reference, credit card checker. Give some names, please. Great. Now go and look at credit check dot this is just a coding, don't worry about the coding. Let me take one more text box to display whether it is valid or not, or label. Let me take one more label where I want to display whether it is a valid or not. Validate card number is the method he is providing to me. So card type is one which I am entering in text box 1.text, comma, card number is what I am entering in text box 2.text. That's it. He's given 2 endpoints. You didn't write anything, this is automatically generated. Now run your application. Let us say I am putting it as Visa. I am entering some data. Validate. Okay, I put it on top. Actually, it should be label 3. Okay. Label 3 is the down one, is the label 3. I'm entering some credit card number. Instantly, we are going and checking that is whether it is a valid credit card or not. So who is processing all this? This is nothing but the web service provider. Like that, he is providing a lot of free web services where you can go and use practice purpose we can do when we are developing the applications. when we are doing, like, he is providing like mortgage, gold and silver fixing, all this, like he has real-time market data service, stand graphics, utilities, he has messaging, like even you can use a free messaging also, you can send SMS to India. So this is a web service he is providing. Just refer this web service and send a message. You can send a message. Simply in your application, you go and write only this particular code, nothing. You don't need to worry about the mobile provider license and all. That is how web services will work. I think it's clear for you about the web services. So basically the service, this web services, WCF, and the whatever now we are seeing as a web API, REST, all these are nothing but service oriented architecture. All the information, like all the business logic, you can provide it through the web services. You can expose it as a service, and anybody can go and consume it. Like that, Microsoft is providing almost every web service nowadays. Microsoft web services, like CRM web services, PeopleSoft services. They have a lot of services in the market nowadays. So that is about the web services. As we discussed earlier, to develop the desktop-based applications, we have C#.NET. So to develop this, we have C#, VB.NET, VC++.NET. You have all this to develop the desktop applications. When it comes to web-based applications, it's purely ASP.NET. But if you see, I put the top, C#, VB, VC++, all this I put it on top of both desktop and ASP, desktop and web. Because to develop a web-based applications also, we need C#.NET or VB.NET, anyone is fine. And ASP.NET, I put it inside the web box because ASP.NET is purely to develop the web-based applications only. So these are the different, whatever we discussed earlier, like in this notepad. This is what we discussed here. So apart this, for developing these kind of applications, already we have a technologies in market like VB6 and ASP, as we discussed earlier. Yes, I can develop a VB application by using VB, sorry, desktop-based application by using VB, and web-based application by ASP, using ASP. But what is new in .NET? Yes, that is nothing but we have additional things called base class library or framework class library. Base class library or framework class library. So library name itself, you can understand what is this library called. Normal terminology, in library you will find the books where you can go and refer that books. So means already pre-written books are there, just you go and use that books or refer that books and read it, that's it. Here in .NET also, .NET base class library or framework class library has lot of inbuilt functionality, lot of inbuilt functionalities and inbuilt features, I can say. Microsoft has provided almost 80,000 classes, 80,000 functionalities inbuilt. That is why people are telling doing the coding in a .NET is very easier compared to other programming languages, because here you don't need to write much. Earlier, like if in my C++ days, if I want to establish a connection with the backend, SQL Server or Oracle, I need to have a driver installed in my machine, and I used to write nearly 100 to 150 lines of code just for connecting to the SQL Server and doing a simple insert. But with the .NET framework, we don't have to write 150 lines, just 3 lines of code is enough. Because they have provided a library already, they have written the code and they gave a ready-made functionality available. Just you have to go and use it. That's it. You don't need to write much coding and all. Like a ready-made food. It's available, just go and grab it and just go and buy it and use it. Here also same thing. Microsoft is applying same logic. Ready-made software, but you have to pay for everything. But whereas if you go to Java and all, it's like you have to write a lot of things, but it's not a free. But it's not licensed. It's a free. The same application, like one application, if it is taking 1 year, in .NET you can develop within 4 to 5 months. There's a lot of inbuilt functionality, a lot of features are given inbuilt itself. Suppose earlier days, there is a XML. If anybody knows about a programming, they must aware about this. They are aware about this XML. To manipulate XML in C or C++, we used to write minimum 400 to 500 lines of code. But with the base class library or framework class library, which comes with the .NET, I can do it in 4 to 5 lines of code. Whatever XML reading, XML writing, I can do it within 4 to 5 lines of code. So this is nothing but the base class library or framework class library where we got a lot of inbuilt functionality. Lot of inbuilt functionality they are given. Next we have is, there is a component called CLR. Common language runtime. Okay, you are developing your application by using C#, .NET, ASP.NET, base class library features and everything, you are using it. But when it goes to the machine, operating system level, you are asking to do something, you are asking to do some calculation or something. But when it goes to the operating system level instructions are different. It's a almost it's a like a machine level language. When you give any instruction, hardware it should read as, it should go as a machine level language. For operating system, it should go as a operating system native level language. It's like an Indian talking to the Chinese guy. And Chinese guy knows only Chinese and Indian guy knows only Hindi, let us say Hindi or some regional language he knows. So normally when this scenario comes, like when your application is like that, whatever the coding you developed, whatever the application you develop, that is in different language, and but your operating system will understand only one different only machine level language. But normally to talk to any other language like Chinese guy, what I'll do is I'll go and get one interpreter who can convert my instructions, whatever I am saying, that should be converted into Chinese, and whatever the Chinese guy was talking, he has to convert it into my language. So that is done by the common language runtime here, CLR. That is, suppose this is your operating system, CLR will convert your instructions into operating system level format instructions, and whatever the OS is giving, operating system is giving output, that will be converted back into the my language. That will be done by the CLR. Inside the CLR we have CLS, and the other component is CTS, and the other component we have is just-in-time compiler. These are the three components which CLR has. With the help of CLS, CTS and just-in-time compiler, your application instructions are converted into operating system, and operating system instructions are converted into your program. Here we did a simple program. When I click on button, then it is going through the network. Then all instructions will go to network. Network will take care about the sending the request and getting the response and display. giving it to my application, and again my application will display the information to me. So that conversion is done by the CLR, that is called as a common language runtime. So this whole thing is called as a .NET Framework Architecture 2.0 up to CLR. This is called as a 2.0. 2.0 comes up with C#.NET, VB.NET, VC++, and VJ Shop, and ASP.NET, and base class library or framework class library, and CLR. All this combination is called as a .NET Framework 2.0, architecture of .NET Framework 2.0. Without CLR, you cannot run your .NET applications. CLR is must because you are developing your application is in .NET, but operating system might be different, like Linux operating system. Okay, Windows, both are Microsoft products. Okay, I can give an exemption of okay, I'll allow directly the programming language instructions. But what about the Linux? What about the Mac? Those instruction formats are different. So for that, we have a .NET framework for all the operating systems. You have a .NET framework version for Mac machine. You have .NET framework version for Linux machine. So where you have to go, where you can go and install your .NET framework. With that, a CLR is installed, and on top of that, you can install any .NET application. That is why when you are installing any new application, new software, first it will check for the pre-requirements whether .NET framework is not there or not there. If it is not there, you have to download and install first, then only you will be able to install the next software. If you go to Mac, pre-requirement .NET framework, then it will not allow you to install. First install .NET framework for Mac, then install the software which you developed in .NET. So this is nothing but the .NET framework architecture 2.0. In addition to this, they come up with some additional features. They named it as 3.0. And after that, like WCF, WPF, and Windows card space, there are additional features they added. They come up with 3.0. Then they added like Ajax and all. They come up with 3.5, some additional features. 4.0, they added MVC and they come up with 4.0. MVC with some additional security features and Web API and RESTful, they come up with 4.5. It's a basic started from 2.0, then 3.0, 3.5, 4.0, 4.5. Anyway, in our next classes, we are going to discuss about the 4.5 only. So whatever the topics comes under 4.5, we discuss like C#.NET we'll discuss primarily, ASP.NET we'll discuss, then we'll move on to the MVC because it's an extension of your ASP.NET next level like MVC architecture, MVC framework we'll use. Then web services in 2.0, we'll move on to WCF and then WCF to REST, from REST to Web API. So up to Web API we will discuss. Along with this, we'll go and discuss about the AngularJS. That is a JavaScript API which is provided in the AngularJS format. We'll go and discuss about the AngularJS, and we go and discuss about the jQuery as well. So nowadays, almost 70 to 80% requirement is on the latest technologies only, like MVC, Web API, AngularJS, jQuery, and all this. But without learning C#.NET and ASP.NET, you cannot go and learn MVC and all. So that is why fundamental, as a fundamental, we go and start C#.NET, then come to ASP.NET. After that, we go and discuss about all these advanced concepts. So that is the plan. And my training sessions will be like, if you observe. So first, my approach would be like why. First, I'll discuss why do we need that technology, or why do we need that particular concept. Then what is that particular concept? Then where to use that particular concept, and how to use. So if you observe, if you go through my class, any of my class, it will be like why, what, where, how. Why do we need that? What is that? Where we can use that, and how to use that. If you know answers for all these four, you are perfect. Let us say I am discussing about object-oriented programming. First of all, why do we need object-oriented programming? and what is object-oriented programming. Where can we use object-oriented programming, and how to use object-oriented programming. Then you are perfect. And like my sessions are going to be mostly real time, like the basic sessions, 10 to 15 classes. It will be like those who doesn't know about the programming and all, I go and discuss about the program language, syntax, loops, conditional statements. 10 to 15 days, it's a basic sessions, like topic wise we'll go. But once we are done with our 15-day sessions, it will go in a real time mode, like live project kind of thing. I may take one application, every example I go and explain in that application only, so that you will get a real time picture, like how these features and how these functionalities are, how the classes, objects, interfaces, abstract lists, how in real time we go and use it. So mostly like my training will be on real time. Like the just before session, don't worry, the people who doesn't know about technology and they came from the, whoever came from the non-technical background, don't worry about that. Like I'll introduce you to the some of the people who are attending in the training other training sessions. Now they are comfortable. At 2 months back, they were telling no, we cannot do it because it's a programming difficult and all. They come up with a lot of queries, and within like first 4 to 5 days, they are okay, it's not suitable for me, then move on to some other technology. They were in that situation. Now they're completely like learned it and they are doing a project. I have given them one banking application where they are going and developing nowadays. Now they are completely like they developed a complete .NET application with the banking features like cash deposit, cash withdrawal, transfer and all. So don't worry, Arun. I think Kishore, someone is from non-technical background, is from electrical background. Don't worry about that. So it's a basic. We are going to start from ABCD.
Okay.
So if you start from ABCD, definitely after some time you will be able to write the paragraphs. You can write the stories and everything. Don't worry about that. Definitely, I am giving you, like the people who comes from technical background, initial 4 or 5 days, they feel that okay, it's difficult to learn. But definitely, I am telling, if you are not able to learn .NET, then you are not able to learn any other thing, because this is the easiest technology which you can learn. And the topics wise, it's a minimal, and there is nothing much coding here. You don't need to write much coding and all. Mostly, it is a kind of GUI based. Like if you see here, drag and drops. Mostly, I use a drag and drop, and a little bit of coding where I want to implement my logic. So this just you need to learn the syntax. That's it. Like a learning English. First learn of alphabets, then learn words, then learn the grammar. That's it. You can write now paragraphs and all. You can write it. The same way we start with the basics, and we club it together and we put it into programs. Then we convert it into an application. That's it. Done. Okay. Any questions?
No.
No.
Okay. Akshita, any doubts? Any queries
No,
here?
sir.
Have any
No,
doubts?
sir. Nothing till now.
Okay. Arun? Kishore, any doubts?
No.
Mobile?
No, sir. It's okay.
Okay, that's it for today, and we'll meet again tomorrow. Most probably we'll have the session from 8 o'clock only. Or maybe actually I have a session from 8 to 9. Maybe within next days, 7 to 8 I have a session. Maybe next 10 days we can move it to 7 if anybody is not comfortable with 8 to 9, 9:30. Actually, it's 1.5 hour session, 8 to 9:30. If anyone is not comfortable with that timing, then we can move it to 7 on.
Yeah, 8 to 9:30 would be fine.
Yeah, if anybody is having like concern, like we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
go on 7 also. That's not a problem. So don't worry about the technology. So I have almost, so far I have handled 400 plus batches. and I know as a fresher, as a non-technical person, I know what is the struggle they face, like moving into purely from non-technical to technical. It's a difficult. They think that it's difficult, but it's very easy. Like I made it. Whatever the references I come to, mostly whatever the students I get it. Most of them are non-technical. If you know a little bit knowledge, that is an added advantage. But I can guarantee you that after 2 months, definitely you are perfect in technology. It's not something like rocket science. Now rocket science also it's a kids game, right? So I have like recently, like just I'm giving an example. Like recently I've taken a corporate training. Not a corporate training. Like it's some organization brought some people from African countries. Even they don't know how to switch on the system also. Some people who are from non-technical background, they don't know how to switch on and open the MS Word, MS Office and all. We started from that and successfully now they are working in Africa, Johannesburg and all, they are placed and they are working now. If you are non-technical, don't worry about that. So you make just only thing is, if I am spending 1.5 hour for training, initial days, maybe you need to spend 4 hours, 4 times of what I spent it. Maybe 6 hours you need to spend for practice. Then it may come down. You can practice it for 2 hours, 1.5 hours, that would be fine. But initially you may need to practice for 6 hours and all. That's it. Okay, that's it for today. We'll meet again tomorrow at the same time, same WebEx link. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It is